It's 29th of June,
Yes.
2017. I'm totally forgetting what month I'm in now. I'm here in Hamburg, Germany. I'm here with Anna. Thank you so much for having me here. Let me crash at your place and get beat up by your students. How long have you been training jiu-jitsu for?
So I started March 2007.
Okay.
So it's going to be like what, 10 years?
Yeah.
A little bit over 10 years now. Yeah.
Nice.
A whole life already for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 years training jiu-jitsu.
And what got you into jiu-jitsu?
Which way?
Yeah, like how?
How? So that's the story. I had a bad breakup.
Okay.
With an American guy. Hope he's not watching this video, but that's not matter. So I need to release the bad energy. I need to do something because I had anger and frustration and everything. So I started doing kickboxing.
Okay.
And in the gym where I trained kickboxing, there was this jiu-jitsu group. So I was always watching like, what are they doing? Because, you know, when you don't know about jiu-jitsu, you just see two people doing something strange on the ground. So someone told me, come try, and I say, no way. Like, I am not getting that close to someone I don't know. But then I always realized what it calls more my attention was the nice atmosphere in jiu-jitsu. Like the people after kickboxing, they just go to the shower, everybody follows this way. But in jiu-jitsu, the people after training, they keep talking, and they were so passionate about talking about jiu-jitsu, about the next trip, about the next competition, about everything, this technique and that, and they were like a family. I say, what they are doing that keep them that together? It called my attention, and then when this guy told me again, there is a seminar that day, you can join the seminar, you do more technique, less roll. I say, okay, I give that a try. But I was like I was not so confident that I would join that, I would like it. I love it. It was like love at first sight. I tried once, I got submitted in every possible way, and I said, I want to do that. And this is the way I got into the jiu-jitsu. And from that day, I started training every day.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny, because I've talked to a few women now who have said, like, like that's how they got into martial arts, is from a bad breakup. Right?
Yeah.
And me personally, for the jiu-jitsu atmosphere, that's exactly why I'm doing this, is because of how great the atmosphere is in a jiu-jitsu club versus just other martial arts that you know it's that they're more a hard style and just go and beat up on each other and go home, right?
In jiu-jitsu you can you have your best friends, like I have Lilo or many other girls that are really very good friends, but when we greet, we want to kill each other. After the fight is over, we can go and drink something and we are best friends, and this is a nice thing that you don't get in other fight sports. And I love that, I really like that a lot, and it's for me it's a very good therapy too. And the way I started is because of that, because when you are fighting, you cannot think about which bill you have to pay or which problem you have back at home. You are fighting, you are only focusing on your fight. And it's helped your mind to relax, and I love that.
That's how I got back into martial arts, was when I saw the opportunity to go back to classes. It was just to use it as to like blow off steam from the week, and it gradually became no, I need to go and hang out with these guys, because these are like, this is my family, right?
It is. For many of us, it's jiu-jitsu family is the second family, sometimes even the first, because if they happen not to be in the home city where they grow up or something, like what they have on the mat is everything, and this is a nice feeling.
So when you started doing jiu-jitsu, you didn't do any like women's only classes? Just jumped right in and Started beating up on the guys?
Yeah, like 10 years ago, there were not so many women doing jiu-jitsu. But I was one of the luckiest one where I didn't have to get into a group where there's only men, like Lilo or many other girls. I know all school girls. In my case, there was two girls in the gym, which were already blue belt, Heather and another girl from Brazil who was the girlfriend of my trainer, and Viviana, and they were actually a little bit smaller than me, and I was strong. I was always very strong, but not had technique at all. And when they took me and like tear me apart, even if I was using all my strength, which happened to be with every white belt starting, it's exactly what it caught my attention. Maybe if it was a big guy, would have not caught my attention that way, but because it was a girl, smaller than me, and I could feel when I was fighting with all my strength that they were not even sweating, like they were not doing any strength and they were beating me up, that I really get me addicted to it. Like I want to learn what this girl is doing. So I had the good luck to start with these two girls. Then one was American, one was Brazilian. They go back to their countries, and then I stay alone for some years. And of course in jiu-jitsu you have as a woman to survive with the boys. But I always enjoy, I have no problem at all. I always train with guys, and for me it's great because you learn first to defend. You learn a very good defense, being the smallest, and in my opinion, smaller people are always more technical because they cannot rely on strength. They have to use technique. They have nothing else.
Yeah,
I mean,
my black belt says that too. He's said he believes any of his women are better than his men because they're not big, huge, strong people. Like you can take a big, huge, strong guy. He's going to have a lot harder time working purely on technique than someone that doesn't have strength to rely on. My best friend Angel, I've always said if her and I were the same size, I get my ass kicked by her because just pure technique,
So yes, like back at the time, since we were at the beginning a couple of things always just show up and go, but not really consistent sparring partners. There was no way to put only woman class. It was when I got my blue belt that I started my first only woman class support in the club. Like I was not the trainer was Chalita, a black belt. But, and then later there were different trainers when he left to the state. But then I support the team introducing one woman class for free, like just to attract women to the sport, because I know from outside it can be very hard for the woman first to get into the sport.
Yeah, and that was with our club the same thing. When we had two women that had been in our class long enough, that were now like senior blue belts going looking for their purple in the future, had them kind of instruct like a women's class, and that's a big deal, right? To have someone as like a mentor, I guess. Like it's easy enough to go in any class and have a guy instruct, but there's always going to be like, but he's different from me, he's a bigger guy, so of course it looks easier. But when you have a smaller person doing the techniques, and you're like, oh, I can do that too then.
It's true. Like here in Nexus, I come from many schools where there's only one teacher, and sometimes it's the only way it can be. But sometimes it's more like because their teacher thinks he's the only one able to show the techniques or whatever. I don't criticize, I respect everybody. But when I opened Nexus 2.5 years ago, I make sure I have different instructors. First, because I like to keep learning. I don't want to be the instructor all the time, because then you stop learning. And because I think we have big instructors, small instructor, woman and man. Like, the beauty of jiu-jitsu is that you can adapt it to your body. Sometimes people are more flexible, sometimes they are not flexible. Sometimes you are more strength, less strength, taller, shorter, so you can adapt it, but it depends a lot who is your teacher. I have been in some clubs where the teacher is a 100 kilo black belt, and of course they fight beautifully, but with my 60 kilo I cannot do the same game. There's no way, I cannot do the side control pressure, even if I take care of the most fine details. I am not this mass. I don't have this strength. The same with people who are very flexible. I am not a flexible, so I cannot do this crazy, very bolo and chugami guard as some guys have. So I am adapting my jiu-jitsu from many different, and here we offer also different. You have to learn everything in order to be a complete fighter, but then when you really fight, especially if you are a competitor, you have to have your game A. And this you learn from the person who it fits you more. So here we have like, I think 5 different instructors, and it's good, so, and the people love it. Like, they like every instructor, but they have always their favorite.
Yeah, everyone tends to gravitate to one person eventually, have their favorite person to train with, and kind of the one person they go to for being a teacher. What I've experienced and what I've seen anyways. And I find that it's good to have that person to go to, because otherwise you're kind of lost. You know, you need to find. I mean, that's what blue belt is for, right? Really starting to find your game and just working on that. And so when I see people that they're watching all these videos and want to try everything, but it's like you need to start. It's great to know everything. Like, I love learning all these techniques, but I also know, like, I'm not going to be doing berimbolos, right? So
we're on the same side as well.
So as having a variety of instructors, I like myself, like when I go to a club and there's a variety of teachers, because then I can see that there's more to the school than just like show up one class and that's the curriculum kind of thing. So you said you've had this club now 2.5 years?
Yes.
And it's been this spot the whole time? So you got your black belt then opened up a club, or?
It was like I have another club. Like, I originally was Gracie Barra until I was purple belt. And then it was when my instructor back at the time, Chalita, left. He got a good position in a Gracie Barra club in America, and he left to the States. So the team stayed like a little bit without a head coach there. And then I got married, and my ex-husband, because I got divorced after it, my ex-husband was purple belt. Almost round, so we decided to start a club. And we started a club. We were the first full-time jiu-jitsu academy in Germany, like the only academy who was teaching jiu-jitsu in the morning, in the evening, 7 days a week. But then there was some relationship problem with separate, we divorced, and then he kept the club. And I was a couple of months like, didn't know what to do, and jiu-jitsu was my life, and so I didn't want to accept I have lost my passion. And so thanks to David Mendelsohn, Simon, and Tony, and some of the people who support me, they say, just go and open your own club, you are good enough. I was brown belt back at the time then. And they say, no way, I'm a woman, and it's hard enough to, not because I am a woman, but because I am a woman in a fire sport. So it's not that easy to open a club in a city where there are other clubs. There are already other 3 black belts in Hamburg, men. So it's going to be hard. But they say, yeah, you are good, you are the only from these 3 other black belts and who are competing, who are successful, so you have a lot to show, go for it. And I say, okay, I close my eyes and I go for it. I got some people helping with the money for the first investment money. And then I opened it, and it worked right away. I was very happy. Many people from other clubs joined immediately this club, and then when we have a first group of 20 people, most of them graduated, which was a very nice feeling to see that especially graduated people came to me, because it's like not the white people who maybe don't know so much about jiu-jitsu yet, or like people who know already jiu-jitsu. It was a way to say, we know what this girl is doing. So with these 20 original people, then we ground this, and then now we are 120, I think, 30 kids and 90 adults, more or less. Yeah. In 2.5 years, we are really very happy, and we are growing up
that's
very,
great.
very fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we are very happy with that, but it was a difficult beginning.
Yeah, so you just took a big chance. And,
yeah, a very big one.
Pay it off, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are the options, right? Like, don't take the chance and always wonder, or take that chance and know for sure, and live that dream,
Exactly.
And
I always follow my life. Like once when I was, I don't know, 16 or something like that, I read that the worst remorse is the one of the things that you never tried. Yeah. It kept in my mind, and I follow all my life like that. I try something, it does not work. Okay,
at least you have a great story.
But if you don't try something, it will always say like, if I. Yeah. And I don't like to live under this, if I had done that, if I had tried that, if. I don't like that. So I try. It was a big risk because financially we put a lot of money here. It was not only about jiu-jitsu, this is also a business, so I had to look for a good location, because I had to beat up, I have to conquer also with those other academies. So we took the best location, and we tried to do the best club. So I keep my other job. I am physicist actually, so I have my job I had my job at the university, keep both at the same time, because I have my family, my 2 kids, so I have to make sure they are getting all they need, food, school, clothes, everything, and then open that on my free time. And it was 2 very difficult years, but then it started, and then I said, okay, now it's time to dare the second step. The first step was opening it. The second one is quit my real job and just live for this. And I did it last August, and since last August, I don't work as physicist anymore. My family think that I am crazy, but I am happy. So maybe crazy, but happy. So happy. I now have only the academy, I referee, I do seminars, but I live on jiu-jitsu, and I am very happy, and I have time. I don't have so much money than I had before, but I have time, and I think I learned in the last year, especially when you have kids and they grow up that fast, that time is something you cannot pay for.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's incredible to see, though, that you were able to manage having a day job, having kids, and opening this club. Not just training, but opening the club, which is far more difficult. It's not like people think, well, I'm just going to rent a space and throw in some mats. That's crazy. I was thinking about that the other night. I was like, wow, because you compete too, and so you do all this. I was wondering about your children. How did that affect you with being able to train and come back? Because it's looking after kids, having kids, it must be a really difficult thing to balance, because you can't train.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
So I will never ever say it's easy, because it's not.
Yeah.
But it's possible, and you have to want it. Yeah. And because I started jiu-jitsu at the age of 27. So I was, and right away I wanted to compete, because for me it kind of belonged to jiu-jitsu. I accept people don't want to compete, and it's completely fine. But for many people, it's like you need to test yourself, you need to check where you are, you need to release this adrenaline. It's a nice feeling. I was aware of my age and of competition that I can't do forever, so I started competing right away. Because of the biological clock, I also wanted to have kids, so it was like everything coming at the same time, and I say, why I didn't find out jiu-jitsu before? And so I said, okay, I have to do everything because I cannot wait to have kids, I cannot wait to compete, otherwise I will get too old for both. So I started competing, and then I got pregnant, and then I stopped. I keep training while I was pregnant, and there is a blog and a whole website about that. I opened my new project, BJJ Moms, to support all the women who are pregnant or have kids and want to compete or keep training. And I balanced both. I have to say it was easier because my ex-husband, my trainer, was the dad of my kids, so he could understand I wanted to be on the mats. He allowed also me to have my kids on the mat. And when I have only one, it was hard, but if you do sacrifice like social life, because you cannot do everything.
Yeah,
I went from
social
work.
life on the mat though, is that right?
Yeah, my social life was the jiu-jitsu life. Yeah, it's like, so I went from work to home, take my kids, go to the mat, and I went to competition with my kid. I went to the podium with my kid. When I was fighting, my ex-husband was taking care. He was fighting. Then another people of the team were helping me. So everybody was very supportive. And of course, my mom, she helped me a lot. And so it got easy with the time. And then I got the second one. And then it got complicated. Because two is not that easy. It's like taking care of two kids. One who is like now Giselle is 7 and I is 3. Now it's complicated. It's very expensive because you travel to competition. You have to take both. You are paying flight ticket for 3 persons, and it started to be too complicated. So I was like, when I see a problem, I try not to complain, but I am right away looking for the solution. So I am a very analytical person, so this is the good thing I took from physics. I see a problem, I look for the solution right away. So how do I do now? So I was checking, and I found out an au pair. So I bring an au pair, so the au pair would help me with the kids. Because I don't like to have my kids like all the time in different activities or with this daycare, or because I like my kids, I have them because I like to be with them. So I wanted actually that the au pair is with me on the mats and help me a little bit while I am training with the kids around. Or if I am doing an evening session, I go home, I bring my kids to bed because I like to do this. I kiss them good night, and then come back to training. There is someone there at home who is taking care of the kids who are sleeping. They are not even realizing I'm not home, but I can keep training. And this is the way I manage it now. I recommend it to every woman. It costs you money, but it gives you quality of life. Because otherwise I have to be there, even if they are sleeping, and I could be using my time training or even like going for dinner. You have to take care of your relationship also. Like I have my new partner, Tony Hesse, and we have been together for 3 years now. And he helps me also with the kids and everything. But you need always a little bit help. It's like alone is very hard. It's very hard. You can do it too, but then you don't sleep. Or you train in the mornings, but then you don't have a job, and not everybody is a gym owner like I am now. Like you have to find solutions. There is always solution.
I was just thinking about this the other day when I was thinking about questions to ask you, and that was one of them because I've only seen like, you know, from the men's side of it, like, you know, the wife's pregnant, and you know, so he misses out on training a lot because he's there for her. But you know, for women training and competing and doing everything you were doing, you know, it seems so incredible to be able to keep up with everything. Because I mean, I know there's all kinds of people, women out there who've been in sports who they kind of dial it back or kind of quit competing or training after they have a kid, because it's focus is now shifted, right? And you've been able to manage everything. Like,
I do exactly.
That's another thing physics is coming.
I guess before I having my black belt in jiu-jitsu, I had my black belt in multitasking.
Yeah.
I learned that before, because otherwise it's not possible. And you have seen these days that my kids are also around, and they sometimes go the mat, they kiss me, they go back, and
they're
I like that
energy.
way. They are full energy. They train also jiu-jitsu, they do the kids class, and then when the adults class started, then there is another room when the oldest one can do her homework from the school, the other one is playing around. Some days, only some days, I let them a DVD player to watch a movie, but actually I like that they use the imagination. They have another mat here where they have rings and rope and everything, so they play
I was gonna mention
in a very healthy way.
I was gonna mention that, like yesterday when I saw them, I was like, they were just going from one imaginary game to another imaginary game constantly. They weren't just sitting here watching.
I don't like that. I respect if other parents do that, and I allow them to watch a half an hour TV, but usually it's while we are having dinner. Sometimes if I feel, you have to play what you have. So if the kids are that day very tired and they are like, complaining about every little thing, they are not going to allow you to train. Okay, that day I will give them a film to watch. But otherwise, I like them to develop the imagination, to play what they have. As when we were kids, we didn't have all this stuff. So one day, my eldest daughter, Giselle, asked me, she told me, I am boring, what I should do now? I don't know what to do. I want the DVD player, or let me your handy to play, let me your iPhone. I say no, and I explained it to her. I say, you have here imagination. You have here a mat with balls and rings and rope and many other stuff. Use your imagination, play. And she could understand that. And since then, she never asked me again. So she takes her sister, and they do all kind of stuff. And it's good. It's good for the head. And then when we go home, they can watch the half an hour TV, and then go sleep. That's exactly. It's really good for the mind to working on imagination, working on just interaction skills, rather than just sitting there I've seen, in my travels, I've seen like when I'm on the train or somewhere, and I'll see like someone has like a 5-year-old, and he's sitting there playing on a tablet and drinking a pop, and I'm like, that's all he's going to grow up to be. It's just no. It's that, like every parent has to know what is best for the kids. I don't share this whole technological world. I use it a little bit, like when we are on big trips on the plane. I have also the DVD player for my kids, or again, if they are having a bad day, I will give them to sit down to be a little bit more calm. But usually I don't allow it. I like them to play. We have toys here. You have seen them also. Everywhere in the academy there are toys. I think it's completely compatible. Kids family with jiu-jitsu, so academy, why should be free of toys, or why should be everything like completely ordered? Like here you have a Barbie, and there you have a car, and now you are walking and you say, because you step on a Lego stone, which is the most dangerous and painful thing, even more than a toe hold, if you step on one of my little child Lego. But here people respect it very much. They know what a hard job is also for me to combine everything. They help me with the kids. Because I compete, they know I am fighting also every day. I am teaching, but when it comes to do sparring, I do all the sparrings. So if the kids are around, they take care of them. That I can do also my sparring, like everything. Everybody is very supportive. And this is good.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, I find, with the club here, with everyone. It's everyone is like when the kids are here, everyone's kind of looking out for one another, and you know, it's not just some places where, you know, bring in kids and then they'll take off, come back in an hour kind of thing, or you know, like there's a few people that train here that have kids in the class, right?
A few people here?
Yeah,
they have kids. This is there are both ways. There are parents who do jiu-jitsu and then later bring their kids to the jiu-jitsu class when they saw we are doing here kids class, and they bring the kids. And there's also the way around. There are kids who started, the mom were watching, and they'll say, can we do also jiu-jitsu? Say, of course. And then they got involved into jiu-jitsu because their kids started. So we have both ways.
That's great.
And we are having now like a Nexus baby boom, and we're having a lot of members having kids. And because I know that not everybody is as multitasking as I am. And not everybody is being able to concentrate on fighting while the kid is around, because it takes also some years of experience to manage that. We are thinking of next year maybe offering babysitting for the parents with kids. It's a project, and it's not yet done, but it's the project for next year, because we have a second room mat. So we want to offer for parents who have kids that they can join their training, and then we have a babysitting like a daycare. We know from some fitness gyms here in Hamburg that they do that.
Yeah, there are a few.
Why not in jiu-jitsu?
I've read about that apparently, and they do quite well, right? So
because there are many parents. I mean, like jiu-jitsu is a sport for life, and everybody knows that. Many people in their youth play soccer or basketball sometimes, and then they have family and they stop playing. But we really want jiu-jitsu to be for life. But it should not stop you from having a family. Actually, it doesn't stop you from having a family. So when you have a family, how do you do that? And if you pay a babysitter back home, it's much more expensive, and many people cannot afford that. And you get somehow also separate from your kids. So we try to combine both. So we are making the plans to make it real. And we would start probably, because the whole Nexus boom is now. We have to wait that the kids are at least 1 year old, because as a real baby we cannot take care of them. But like in 1 year, 2018, middle of 2018 at the most, we would like to offer this service and be one of the first maybe jiu-jitsu academies in the world offering that. And then the parents can train while the kids are being taken care right next door, so they should not worry. If the kids, something happen, they can always come and say, here, I have do something bad.
That's cool. I look forward to hearing about it, like being working, like starting, I guess. That'd be cool. To see. Then, you know, as they grow up and they're around here more, and then they start, and then, you know, they have the second generation, and competing. We kind of went over it, didn't really talk much about it. So I see on your wall you have all your medals from each rank.
Hall of Fame.
That's awesome though. So do you have like a few competitions each year that you always want to compete in, or is it always kind of like one comes up and you kind of from situation to situation if you can make it?
Yeah, well, when you are female and black belt, there are not so many competitions to choose because we don't have opponents. So it makes the choice a little bit easier. And right now, like when I started, for boys it was like ABC. There was 3 competitions a year. So, but right now there's a competition like every day. Like every weekend you have something not that far away from your hometown where you can go. But the more graduate you get, and especially females, it gets complicated because you want to fight, but you don't have opponents. And so I like to fight every year European Championship. This is like for me a fixed date, and I fought since I started in 2007. The 2008 was my first European.
Oh, really?
I fight every year except the year I was pregnant. And the second pregnancy, I had my kid on 30 October, so I had 3 months to get ready, and I made it.
I did.
It was the hardest thing I had in my life, but I wanted to be there, and I make it. It was hard, I said, and my baby was 3 months old. I was breastfeeding right before the fight, but I didn't want to skip it. So Europa Championship is there.
What rank was that?
Sorry?
What rank was that at? Like, what belt you at when you?
Anais, I was, I think I was brown.
Wow.
I was brown, yeah. And I lost on an advantage, but for me it was a huge victory to be on the
Just to
mat
be able to do
competing
it and-
3 months after having my second child. Like
Yeah.
you know, sometimes a loss is more worth than a victory, depending on how you feel in the fight. Some fights I win, but they were like easy fights, and you don't have that feeling. Sometimes you have fight your heart out, and you feel good. And it was one of these. Like I was happy to have been there, to have a good fight, and
Yeah, the one match that I've had in competition that I am probably the most proud of was I was able to get a draw on someone who, you know, is the top guy and had just beat me in 30 seconds before. And I remember I text my friend, like, I got a draw with him. Like, wow, that's a win, you know, like.
yeah. Sometimes it's like how do you feel in the fight? Yeah. And yes, the Europeans is a fixed appointment for me every year, and actually I always try to do like three since I am brown and I cannot fight that much because there are not so many competitions, like 4 competitions a year. This year I got my black belt in the podium last year when I won my weight class and the open class in brown belt. So it was 2000, we are now 2016.
Last year,
yes. So since then I compete not that much, only like 3-4 times. And this European, I was sick with flu, I fought, which was not the best idea, but that moment I did. And then I had some healthy stuff, so I could not compete. And now I am getting ready again. So I want to do London in, I think it is October.
Okay, yeah.
And Paris in November. I want to do these 2 competitions. They are IBJJF competitions, so I expect there will be another black belts. Because for me, it's like getting ready for the next Europeans.
Yeah.
And then I would like to do the World's Master next year, because this year I didn't make it because of time. Because we also opened Nexus, so I had first to take care that the business is running. But I want to do this 2. And I have also many weekends that I am refereeing. So if I am refereeing, I can compete. Like it's really a whole of multitasking in my life. Yes, London, Paris are my dates for this year. And then Europeans 2018, Masters, and then who knows, because now I am 37, and sometimes I even fight adults, sometimes I even win, but I start to feel like the new generation is coming very strong, because there are girls who start training with 16, 14, and now they got the black belts with 18, 19, and it's hard because I have to keep the business, the kids, my private life, my 37 years old, but I like to be there, and I will try to keep at least 1-2 years more, and then maybe I say it's time for my kids to take over and to win the medals for the club.
Only do, like, you know, once a year, do a Masters tournament or something, rather than you know, all the big competitions with the new guys coming in, and and then and I like to coach also my people. Like, you have to be everything. I have been in some competitions where
the smallest. When I referee for big competitions, I am only refereeing, but sometimes in the small competitions where I work as referee, they allow me, when my fighters are fighting, to make a break on my mat and coach them. Sometimes I am even fighting, so it's like in one day I'm refereeing weight, I now have to coach weight, I have to fight also, and it's getting crazy. Many people say like, how you do that? And I don't know, it's like I am a very nervous person, I need to do many things at the same time. And actually these competitions is where I fight the best, because I don't have time to get nervous. I go directly from coaching or from refereeing to fight. I don't have this time to decide like I'm going to fight like everything. So I go right away, fight, I do fine, I go back to referee.
Yeah, too busy just acting on the situation at the time, and then sit back and think about it, and then that's a different way of seeing it. Yeah, there's I've talked to a few people about mindset when competing, and there's been a few different ideas. One likes to do a really big long warm up and is concentrating on warming up and basically just like working out before his matches, so it clears his mind. And then one just walks around, listens to his music and walks and focuses on his game plan, and
there are different ways, and each one has to find for himself or herself her own routine. It took me many years to find my routine. I was always like my legs were made of butter, like I couldn't stand, and it was bad because I started the fight like pulling guard, but pulling a bad guard because my leg was not responding. And then someone told me, mental coaching is as important as normal training, so you have also to work on your mental thing. It was actually Helen, a black belt from Belgium, and she told me that it helps her a lot, the mental coaching, so I started reading book about that. And then there was about the time where I met Davey Mendelson, our wrestling coach and also co-owner of Nexus. He's also an excellent mental coach, and he's the one helping me. And since I met here, I fight way better because I get ready here, not only sparring. I found finally the music who bring me in the song that is ready to fight. Like you have to learn to fight with the excitement. You cannot take it away. It's going to be there, but it should not stop you from fighting well. It should help you. And to realize that was already a big thing. That to realize that you are not getting this over. You just have to learn to deal with it and make it play to your side, to your favor, and not against. And then with different exercise, we do here in Nexus also once every 2-3 months mental training coaching for everybody with Davey, and help the people to have their mind set for fighting, and it helps a lot.
That's cool,
And so there are people, like you say, like they make a whole practice before going to fight. I just make a little bit warm up. I have my routine, my music, and some exercise I learned from David to do. Then I do sometimes a couple of jumps because I like to bring my head first to the level of excitement and then go ready to go. But each one is a little bit different. So
I was talking with Misha Serkinov in Toronto. He's an MMA fighter. He's also a very accomplished grappler, and he was saying with his fights, like he just concentrates on his breathing because he wants to focus on that so he doesn't get too excited. He says, he is a guy that can get really excited, and he doesn't want to do that and burn out his energy and make mistakes when he's in there. So he is he keeps himself at a calm level before his matches, because if he tries getting too amped up and ready to go, then he gets really excited and the whole game plan is out the window.
It happened to me that back at the time, and I know it happened to many people, when you get too excited, it's not only about the mistake you may do, it's also about how tired you get. This excitement, it burns all your energy down. If you get so excited, within 1 minute, you are dead. You don't have anything left to keep fighting because your heart beating at this pace and the excitement just took off all your energy. So I learned also to breathe and to calm down, not only to be able to think more when I am fighting, but to not burn my energy, because my condition is sometimes one of my weak points, because I really don't get my condition training only when I am getting ready for Worlds or Europeans, and yes, because my schedule is already packed, and it's already on the limit. So I rely more on mental training and on practice, on technique, more than having a good power for the whole fight. So I try to finish the fight soon before I get tired.
I've in a few matches, competitions I've had, I never look at the time when have a match. Even if I'm there and if I have top control and I'm facing where the time is, I'm not going to look at it. I may, like, there's a table, I'm going to look over here, and because I don't want to see that, oh, it's only been a minute. It's like you're feeling like, oh, it must be time soon, and then realize, and you're like, oh, then you're sitting there and you're thinking about how much time you have left, and I'm like, I know
the time goes like in another completely pace when you're on the mat. Like if you are winning, it goes very slow, because you are winning, you want the fight to be over and go home, but it's like you have to fight still 4 minutes more. And if you are losing, the 5 minutes are away, or the 6 minutes, depending on how much you are fighting. It's like I need more time because I still have to recover these points. So it's crazy how the notion of the time. So it's very important to train with the timer. Like we do 5 minutes usually, but when we are training for a competition, we set the time of the competitor. Like if we are getting ready a blue belt, then we train 6 minutes. We are getting ready for a black belt match, adult. We set 10 minutes, so the people have to learn to fight the time they are going to compete. Because
you get used to that time, right? I remember where was I? I was visiting a place, and they had longer matches for rolling for normal classes than the usual 5 minutes. And I remember then going back to my club and rolling, and I'm like, why? It's over already, because I was used to like 8 minutes kind of thing, right? You get that's the one thing I always say is people just starting with blue belt, and they're just doing the normal 5 minute matches. Like, no, there's still another minute, and that can decide your whole match.
It can. Like I usually fight, when I fight adults, I fight them less. But if I fight master, I have to fight less minutes. But if I fight adults, I have to fight 10 minutes. And because we don't train that much, so that when I do 10 minutes match, the first 4 or 5 minutes, I am dominating and I am fighting and this, and then I start like, this fight is very long and I don't have anything. So you have to fight also very smart. If you are 20 years old, you have time for 10, 20 and whatever. But when you're getting older, or if you have family, or you have a stressful job, you don't have so much energy than the young people. So it does not mean you cannot fight 10 minutes. It means just you have to be also tactical and not only technical and not only strength and all energy and health. Like, secure your position, breathe, think, and do your next move. Don't give everything the first 3 minutes and then you are dead for the next 7. You have to learn to distribute your energy, because you are going to have 10 minutes fight. So it's I teach also here the people, or I try for myself and for my student, that if you are a competitor, which is different than if you are a hobby jiu-jitsu sportler, then you do whatever is fun for you. But if you are a competitor, it's very important condition and strength, it's of course very important the technique, but to be tactical. Like if you don't know the rules, and I say that as referee, please know the rule if you are going to fight, and know the rule if you are a coach, because many coaches don't know the rule neither. If you don't know the rule, you can be the best jiu-jitsu fighter in the world, you lose.
Yeah.
Like I have had black belts that I am on the side control fighting, they turn me over and they say I win, sweep. It's not sweep. It was in the side control. It's an inversion. Like you improved your position a lot. You are now dominating, but because I passed your guard at the beginning, I had my 3 points, and that doesn't give you any point. I can't stay here forever. I defend you, don't come in the mount or in the knee on belly. I am 3-0, and you win the fight. And you say, the coach like, what? And he was, I say, the rules are made to be followed, at least if you are going to compete. If it is the essence of jiu-jitsu or not, this is a complete different story. Of course, it should be only submission and everything, but this is another story. In competition, it's the way it is. So if you want to fight the competition, you have to nail the rules. And I then teach also the people to fight with the rule and a technical way to put the rules in their favor and not against.
Yeah, and it's just being smart, right? Because it's kind of condescending to think you're just going to go out there and submit everyone. It's obviously everyone's goal. You'd love to go out there and just submit everyone, but that's not always going to be the case. And learning the point system is kind of a very big advantage to being able to last the round, right? So. So you're wearing a Globetrotters gi. Yes. And I'm wearing a Globetrotters gi. And so that's how we met, was on Globetrotters. So how did you find the community, and what made you be a part of it and open your doors to travelers like myself?
Globetrotters?
Yeah.
I met Christian first time in a competition, and he was selling his book like long time ago, and I just didn't care about him or the book, to be honest. But then 1 year later, one of my students was reading the book, and he said, it's quite interesting. I say, and because I am a huge reader, I like to read a lot. I say, okay, then give me the book, I will read it, and I read it, and when you read the book of Christian, you want to pack and leave. And I say, but I couldn't anymore because I have already kids, which make everything a little bit more complicated. And I had already my first academy with my ex-husband, so I could not, it was not that easy. So, but I loved the idea. Because I was Gracie Barra, and I have many friends in Gracie Barra, and many things from Gracie Barra are great. But I was Gracie Barra, and I know how the philosophy or the politics work in jiu-jitsu. I hate it. I hate politics. I think the whole Creonte story, this whole you are my student, you cannot train there, or you have to wear that gi, or you cannot wear that. I say, like, I don't want any of that. I just want to do jiu-jitsu. To do jiu-jitsu is a sport, and it should be as non-political as possible. And then I started talking to Christian and asking him about advice, how could I do, because I was opening it, so I need some advice and everything. And then I see his camps, and I say, I want to be there. Can I be instructor in one of these camps? And he say, I remember he say, in one of the camps, I asked him first, he say, no, all the spots are already taken. I don't have any spot more for instructor. And I watch, I say, like, there are like 9 instructors, and all of them are male instructors. Do you think it's fair? I mean, you should have a woman there also as instructor. And he was thinking like, oh, maybe you are right. Say, I mean, we want to bring the community also to women, so you should have a female instructor. I say, otherwise I will demand you for, because it was for fun. It was just kidding between Christian and me. I will demand you because you are not supporting the female community and everything. So we were kidding about that, and at some point he said, yeah, you are right, and join. And then it was my first camp. I think it was Copenhagen during the Distortion Festival, which was a great camp. And since then, I try to do as many camps as possible because I love, I do many camps. I do also female trainings camp, I do Gambaro camps, I do many. But the Globetrotter camps have this social aspect that does not have other camps. And that I like it very much. I get to know new people. So when I go to other places, I always have contact. I went to Vietnam and through the Globetrotters community, I had a place to sleep, I have a club to train, I go to Ireland, and then Hello organized for me a seminar which helps a lot, and because Ireland is very expensive. So it's like it helps, and so I try to help because Globetrotter community gives me, I give back. So I try to help the Globetrotters traveling around, they can stay here, sleep, and to save them some cost, to be friendly, to have a team to train. So this is how I go to Globetrotter. We are very proud to belong to this. We still fight for our team. Like there are some clubs that fight for Globetrotter. And in between, like when we fight a small competition for Nexus Fighters, big competition, official IBJJF competitions. We fight for Gambaro, which is our official team. And but we belong to Globetrotter and support the Globetrotter community, and are always open to Globetrotters.
That's cool. I knew nothing about them until I was already planning out my trip, and my friend said, like, "Well, have you read his book?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Who is this guy?" And he's like, "This guy literally just read the book, like wrote the book on what you're going to do." And I'm like, "Oh." So I picked it up, and I was like, so amazed. I was, that he's already done it. And then when I looked it up, there was a community online already. And I was just blown away that it existed. That I'm not alone in thinking this, right? And so my first camp will be in August in Heidelberg. Okay. So that'll be.
It's the first camp.
That'll be my first camp to go to. Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And drink tons of beer. You don't drink beer.
I don't drink. I know. I've already been there, and they've already told me what everything I'm missing out on. Those that do drink beer, go to Heidelberg.
I think this is the only reason why I'm doing a camp in Germany, to drink beer. No, just kidding. But Heidelberg is a nice city. I will not be there, but I will be in the same camp in Poland.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea about saying about just training in the middle of nowhere and doing yoga and climbing trees, and it's a huge group of guys going there. Like David Mendelsohn is teaching there wrestling and mental coaching, and Simon Pauli, one of the other trainers here, is doing there his roots move, this climbing trees, and he became also famous in Globetrotter for climbing trees in Leuven last year, I think. And he will be there, so I say I want to be there too. So I'm joining also, and will be.
I have a few friends going to that one. I already, because of the limit of days I can stay in Europe, and already going to this camp, I won't be able to make it to that camp because I'll be like 4 days over my limit of being in Europe.
I didn't even know there was a limit to
it's a weird thing. It's like 90 days out of 180, so 3 months in, 3 months out kind of thing.
I thought there was but for a country. I didn't know that it applies a whole continent.
It's not us for the European zone, the Schengen zone. So that all counts as one. So if I'm in any of those, a total of 90 days and out of 180. It's a good thing I had the time that I had for planning out my travels, because originally I was just going to take a backpack and go around Europe, and then I started looking up visas and the entry requirements, and
then from Europe you are leaving to Russia or somewhere else?
Going to Russia and going east, and then I'll come back when the time has reset and I can do another 3 months in Europe and hit the rest. But the Globetrotters community. So I've never been in the camps yet, but I've seen all the pictures. Christian always makes sure and just tortures all of us that can't make the camp with like hundreds of pictures and videos online.
He's a specialist on that.
but the community looks so great. Like the camps look like so much fun. And the one thing you're mentioning about, like when you were asking about wanting to teach at the camp, you know, to represent everyone, because there's only male instructors. That's one thing I've noticed over all the pictures is there actually is like a lot of women that go to the camps. It's not just a whole bunch of men out in the field somewhere or in the gym somewhere, right? It's actually
actually in Heidelberg, I think it's going to be Lilo.
Yeah.
Lilo Asensi, the other black belt here in Nexus, the other woman. I think she's going to be one of the instructors there.
That'd be cool.
So you will meet her there again.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, it's cool to see that these camps are something that people feel comfortable enough to go to, and it's not just a bunch of guys going out and drinking and training. Which some seminars, you know, you go and that's pretty much all it is. It's just you know, there's no women at the seminar. My head black belt, Keith Owen, has always been a big what's the word? The word escapes me right now, but he's been a big fan of promoting women in BJJ always, and so that's how I've always viewed it is like, yeah, you know, if you have a seminar and there's only men there, you know.
You're going to have a lot of fun, I'm sure. I mean, I never heard of someone saying, I will not repeat. Yeah. Like, they get you addicted to the camps. You do a lot of jiu-jitsu, and you have a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people, and usually there are other activities. I don't know in Heidelberg if they are going to do something, but like in Austria, they go skiing, or in the Caribbean, we try surfing, or at least some people got it. I try only. I was happy not to be eaten by a shark. I
don't think I have the balance enough to be able to do that hop up and yeah.
And yes, so in every camp there's some extra activity, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really a lot of fun. So for me, the next same camp is at the end of September. But I will be, as you and many other people, we will be watching the pictures of. Well, right now it's the Copenhagen, right?
Yeah, right now it's Copenhagen.
Taking the picture every night, like.
Those that don't know, Christian, when the camp goes on, posts at least one picture a day of the day of like, so this is how my day is, and those that haven't gone, didn't make it, or sitting at home going, thanks for rubbing it in.
But I have to say, I was lucky enough this year to be in the Caribbean camp, and this picture cannot be beaten. Like when you are in the Caribbean, and it's this picture of Sigi on this longboard on his ski, and say, I want to be there too, and I said, I was there, I make it. I was in the Caribbean.
I've never seen those.
You have to do Caribbean Camp at least once in your life. It's a little bit more expensive,
I will have to bring a lot of sunscreen. I will have to bring a lot of sunscreen.
Well, I mean, there were a bunch of Icelandic guys there, and Halor survived it, and Siggy survived it, so you can make it too. And they were much whiter than you.
They give me hope then.
And you have to see Christian before he moved there. He was also white as a wall. Not this wall, but he was white, and now he has a nice turn.
That's awesome. So how many people have you had, like a lot of people come through Globetrotters visiting you, or?
We have a couple of them. How many, I don't know, but there was like every months we have, not that they're staying as long, not they happen from time to time, but people who train in other clubs, and because of work they are here, and then you know, the Globetrotter philosophy, like you can train for 1 week in other Globetrotters Academy. From this we get very regularly, like from other clubs that they come, and so travelers. Besides you, we have this couple who were traveling around. And they didn't stay in the academy. They sleep, I think, at Simon's place. But they were training also here for a couple of days. And
I think I remember the posts.
And some others. Like we have a couple of them.
So always getting visitors to the community.
We had of course, chat. We had here chat a couple of times. Sometimes he's just making a step over to go somewhere else, and then he's only for a couple of hours. So he didn't even join the train, but he joined always for a beer. And so Fat Jesus, Chad was here, and yes, a couple of them.
Anyone from like a really unusual place, like far away place that?
Well, this couple were, I think they were from Australia, but they set up now in London.
Okay.
I don't remember the family name now. He's a black belt and she's a purple belt. I think he's Jonathan, could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember seeing they post about their travels, and they showed all the clubs they went to.
Make a huge, a whole year.
Yeah.
And sorry, I forgot the name right now. But they were from far away. Other than that, well, you're from Canada. The other, Chad is also from Australia.
Yeah.
We had also another guy from New Zealand, also training for a couple of weeks here. But, Australia is already on the other side of the planet, so this is the farthest away that they can come. But nothing more strange than that. Actually, it's me the one, like when I go to Vietnam, or now I want to go to Nepal, trying to find something there, but in Nepal there is no jiu-jitsu. I am usually the one who reaches strange points and asks. But here, normal.
That's cool. We should have get a map, a world map, and have where people have been, visitors and stuff.
Yeah. Christian has some kind of map with the Global Tutors Academy, I think.
Yeah.
But as with the visitor, not yet.
Yeah.
We could implement that.
That's cool. Well, it's been great staying here. I trained with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that we've been able to meet on the Globetrotter community and have this all work out. And thanks again for everything.
Thank you.
And
now we have a home in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
If you are not in a ship.
Well, I'm done the ship life for now. But once I'm back in Canada and in one place for once, my door always will open for you guys. Yeah, it'd be awesome. So until that's it for now, guys. Until next time, see you on the mats. Oos.